Welcome to My Zone Online School. My name is Teacher Mutsa. Get your education booklet in our daily newspaper, street sales, or at your school every Monday to Thursday for pre-primary up until grade 3. The lessons are for listening or watching online. Inside the newspapers, there is an insert of the lesson booklet. Please cut the top of the lesson booklet with a pair of scissors and fold it for ready to use. But there is more. We are also available on our online platforms, MyZone and Zoshi Facebook pages, and in addition, our website, Zoshi Online. Hello grade 3s and welcome to My Zone Online School. My name is Teacher Mutsa and thank you so much for joining me today. Our theme this week is infectious diseases. And before we get into any lessons, grade 3s, we need to sanitize. So please take your sanitizer. If you don't have sanitizer, you can always use soap and water. Just make sure that you wash your hands for 30 seconds. Make sure your hands are dry before you touch anything else. For today's lesson, we will be talking about shapes and telling time. For our exercise now, boys and girls, let's all turn to page 15. On page 15, we will be doing shapes. Now, I already know that you know what the shapes are and their properties, but today we're going to do something a little bit simpler. We are going to color the shape and then say how many of that shape we have. Just as a reminder, let's take a look at the flashcards to help us with the names of the shapes. Now the first shape that we have is the circle. You're going to color the circle yellow. Make sure that when you color your circle yellow, it is clear and different from all the others. The next shape that you're going to color is a triangle. Remember, a triangle has 3 equal sides with 3 corners. You're going to color all your triangles blue, and then don't forget to count how many triangles you have. The next one that we have is the rectangle. You're going to color all the rectangles that you can see red. And then the next shape we have is an oval. Now the oval can either be lying down or upright. So you're going to color your oval the color that is there, which is green. And then last but not least, you're going to color your square. Now all your squares need to be orange. So make sure that you count all your shapes and count them correctly and then color them with the correct colors. Now that we're done with that, let's move on to something exciting on the next page, page 16. On page 16, we are going to be talking about telling time. Now, time, boys and girls, is very important for us to know. And this is how we know the time of day and what activities need to be done at certain times. What you can see there is called a clock. Now, the clock has different parts of it that have very specific names and functions. Every time something changes on the clock, we need to understand what it is talking about. So we're going to talk about the clock and the different parts. Let's take a look at the board. Now, as you can see, I also have a clock on the board, but we're going to talk about each and everything. Now the first thing that you can see on the clock is that it has numbers from 1 going all the way round to 12. If we are going in this direction, we say that it is clockwise. And then if we go backwards from 12 going to 9, we say that is anti-clockwise. So when we are counting time, we go clockwise. We start at 12, which is very different from how we normally count, starting from the number 1. But because this is time, we start at 12. 12 actually acts like our 0. So when we are counting, we start from 12. Now there are 2 hands on the clock. We call them hands, but they are actually arrows. The first one that you're going to notice moving a lot is called the minute hand. This is the one that moves much quicker around the clock, going from 12 back round to 12. Now the minute hand has its own different counting system. It counts normally, but when we're talking about it, we start at 12 as our 0, and then we move on to the little lines that are there. In between each number we can see, we are actually counting a different number. So with the minute hand, we count as 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So the minute hand moves around the clock, and when each minute is counted to a number we can see, we are actually counting in 5s, like I've shown you here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 means that there are 5 minutes. If we were to count another from 5, let's count together. We are at 1 here, but then we're going to continue as counting as 6. So we say 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this number 2 actually is 10 minutes. If we continue counting, 5 minutes, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes, and we count another 5, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 minutes. And then we have 20 minutes at 4. We have 25 minutes at 5. And then we have 30 minutes at 6. Now we're going to continue counting in 5s, but this time, before we do that, I need to explain something else. So we have now done the minutes going in this direction. So from 12 to 6, the minute hand is moving. And anytime we want to talk about the time in terms of minutes, we say past. So before we go to the past, I need to explain the hour hand. Now the hour hand is another arrow, but this one is different from the minute hand. It moves much slower. And instead of counting like the minutes, where there is 5 in between each number that we see, the hour hand counts normally. This is 12, 1, 2, 3. And every time the minutes have gone round the clock, the hour hand moves only one number. So our hour hand tells us the time in terms of the hour, and our minute hand tells us the time in terms of the minutes. When we are reading a clock, we say the minutes first and then the hour. Now there are very special parts of the minutes that we'll talk about soon. Like we are continuing, this is 30 minutes. So when we start here at 12, we say that it is 0 when we're counting in the minutes. There's a special name for that 0, and that one is o'clock. So we know that when the minute hand is facing the 12, we know that it is o'clock. So we have our o'clock here. Let me hold it nicely. We have our o'clock here. So this is when the minute hand is facing 12, and we know that it is o'clock. Now, if it is o'clock, that means we say the number of the hour, perhaps it is 9. So we can say 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 11 o'clock, as we go round and round. Now, when the minute hand is now facing down to 6, we have a special name for it as well. It is called half past. So, if our minute hand were to now go all the way down to 6, we say it is half past. We can say it is half past 11, half past 1, half past 4. Let me see, there we go, excuse me. Half past 7. So when the minute hand is facing 6, it is half past. But if the minute hand is facing any of these numbers, we also say past. So just like in your books, if we have maybe 8 or 9, and then we have the minute hand facing 2, we know that 2 is 10 minutes. So we say 10 minutes past 9. And then if it's facing 5, we know that 5 is 25 minutes. So we say 25 minutes past 9. So this is how we tell time in terms of past. Now as we go back up to 12, the way we tell time changes. Instead of saying past, we now say 2. We are still counting in 5s. So we continue. After 30, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This 7 that we can see now becomes 25. So we say 25 minutes, and instead of saying past, we are now saying 2. 25 minutes to. And then we keep going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this 25, and we are counting going up now. So our 25 becomes 20. And then we say 20 minutes to. Then we count again another 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this 5, if we're counting backwards in 5s, becomes 15. So we say 15 minutes to. And then another 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are now at 10, and our 10 becomes 10 minutes to, because we're going to 12. Here we had past 12, so now we're going to 12. So it's 10 minutes to, and then the hour. Then the last one, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It now becomes 5 minutes to. So now that we know our clock, let's revise what we have just said. We said our clock is made up of 2 ways of reading. We have the time for the minutes, the one that is faster, and it counts in 5s, starting from 12 going all the way down to 6. But it's counting in 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. When we get to 30, we say it is half past. And then when the minute hand is at 12, we say that it is o'clock. Now, if the minute hand passes 6 and starts going back up to 12, we say 2, the hour, any hour. Now this is the hour hand, the one that moves much slower than the minute hand. The hour hand will only move properly from one number to another after the minute hand has gone right round. The hour hand, like we said, is slower and it is also smaller. So if we were to show our hands on a clock, we are starting at 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, back to 12. We said that the minute hand, when it is at 12 and pointing to a number for the hour hand, we can say that this is 9 o'clock. And then when our minute hand is now there at 6, we have said that it is half past, and then we look at the hour hand and it says 9. When the minute hand is now past the 6 and moving back to 12, we say it is 2. So we have moved 1, 2, 3, which is at the 8, and we said that anything at 8 when the minute hand is moving is 20. So this is 20 minutes to, and this time it'll be 20 minutes to the next number, which is 10. Now I know this is a lot, but I want you to continue practicing your clock. I want you to please read all the information on your page. Take your time, practice with someone, and if you're not sure, ask your parents to help you. Also, remember time always changes and it moves. So you can go home or in your classroom and check the clock and try and read the time from there. I will see you soon after the advert break.
Follow us on MyZone Facebook Active Kids to watch your daily lesson and other fun activities with Zoe and Zoshi.
We have now come to the end of our lesson, boys and girls, and I really hope you had so much fun. Remember, if you're not sure what to do or you forgot what to do, you can always ask an adult for help. But just make sure that you finish all your work by yourself. So now that we are done, it is very important for us to finish by sanitizing. So please take your sanitizer. Remember, when we are sanitizing, we are trying to maintain our good hygiene. So sanitize as regularly as possible. Now that we are done, I want to have some fun with Sashi, but I don't know where he is today. Sashi? Sashi? Oh! Hello, Sashi. How are you? So, from Sashi and I, we would like to say thank you for joining us today, grade 3s, and goodbye!
Our online school will help you along the way. Find us at www.zoshi.online and download the booklet. Follow us on Facebook to never miss a video. Subscribe to our Zoshi Telegram channel if you want to receive daily updates. Proudly sponsored by the Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture, Namibian Community Trust, UNICEF, MyZone Online School, Amos Meerkat Syllabus, and Capricorn Foundation.